Another way that God communicates sometimes with people is like my Home Depot friend. In Exodus 20 and 2, God spoke all these words. So sometimes God just simply speaks audibly to people. I am the Lord your God who brought you out of Egypt, out of the land of slavery. Home Depot guy, put down that 12-pack. Walk out and go to my house. And so sometimes God will speak audibly where they say, I actually heard it. It's not that I made it up or I didn't hear it in my mind or in my soul or my spirit. My ears physically picked up God's voice. And that's a way that God communicates to people sometimes also. And the final category here, in the less common ways, but sometimes happen, is there's a category of, they're similar. Sometimes it's in a vision. So Genesis 15:1 says, after this the word of the Lord came to Abraham in a vision. Do not be afraid, Abraham. I'm your shield, your very great reward. And so sometimes someone has, I don't know how to describe a vision. That you just see something and know something and hear something even though it's not actually happening maybe. And something that's similar to that is occasionally God will meet with people in dreams. In 1 Kings 3 and 5, at Gibeon the Lord appeared to Solomon during the night in a dream. And God said, ask for whatever you want me to give you and I'll give it to you. And this is Jesus' father, Joseph, was met in a dream also. And now, that isn't to say that every dream is a message from God. Sometimes dreams are just dreams, and they're just crazy sometimes, and weird, and funny, and silly, and bizarre, and scary, and falling, or whatever dreams you have. Just because you have a dream doesn't mean it's from God. You want to make sure that your dream is from God before you say, God told me to kill you all in a dream. Probably not. But maybe, if he does, you should listen. But maybe not. So sometimes God does speak to us in dreams. And the other kind of, in the same category of them, is sometimes in a trance. This isn't that music where you drop E and then you, it's not that sort of trance. It's a different sort of trance. In Acts 10, it's recorded about noon the following day, as they were on their journey and they were approaching the city, Peter went up on the roof to pray. And he became hungry and he wanted something to eat, but the meal wasn't ready. So as it was being prepared, he fell into a trance. He saw heaven open and something like a large sheet being let down to earth by its four corners, and it contained all sorts of four-footed animals, reptiles, and birds, and a voice told him in his trance, get up, Peter, kill and eat, and have all that meat. And so sometimes, this probably a trance is what we would maybe think of as like a daydream, where you're totally vegging out, and then all of a sudden, like a vision, but a trance, and you're totally vegged out, and God will be speaking to you through that, in that moment, where you see things clearer than you have, even though it's not a clear situation. Does that make sense? Sometimes you see a dream and it's very clear what you should do, even though a dream is never very clear. And visions are that way too, I think, from God. Sometimes people see a vision. Now, it doesn't seem clear maybe when they communicate it, but they can clearly tell you what God was trying to say to them in that vision, a dream or that trance. And so God does communicate to people this way. Now, I would say that if God does show up in one of these particular ways for you, that you ought to listen to it, because it's not normal. It's not everyday occurrence. So if you've either had dreams that you're sure are from God, or you're in a daydream and all of a sudden you knew that you were supposed to go on missions and you're not yet going on missions, or whatever your trance was about, or if an angel has visited you, or if you heard God's voice audibly, then you ought to listen to it, because those are pretty uncommon. They are the supernatural interacting with the natural. That's God going out of his way to meet with you and to talk with you. And if those things have taken place, you certainly ought to listen. In regard to this, though, sometimes people will say, well, how will I know that it's really from God? If one of these things happened to you and you're not sure if it's from God, the answer is it's not from God. If one of these things happen to you, you will know if it's God or not. God has this great ability of being crystal clear when he shows up. Normally, according to the Bible, when an angel shows up, people fall down terrified, even the good angels. They fall on their face terrified, and so they are certain that they have met God. You won't encounter God in one of these ways and be like, was that vision that hot girl was going to marry me? Was that a vision from the Lord? No, that was one too many internet clicks last night for you, probably. So if you're not sure, then it wasn't from God. But I do tell you, if God interacts with you supernaturally, you ought to listen. You will know it, and you better do what he tells you to do, because he's gone out of his way, the God of the universe, to communicate to you in a way that is unique or not daily occurrence. Look, I think as people, in America, sometimes we get so westernized that we refuse to listen to God, or we're not even open to the possibility that God might meet with us in a vision, a dream, or a voice, or angels even showing up. And we're sort of skeptical of all those things. Just like I am, the Home Depot guy started talking about voice of God. Yeah, right, you know? Voice of beer is what I immediately think. But I think that we need to be careful. Because if we assume that God is real, and I think that God is real, and He wants to have a relationship with us, that means He does want to communicate with us. And so we ought to be open to God communicating with us. And so I'd like you to join me next week as we discover how God will more commonly try to communicate with us on a daily basis, especially as His people, if you're interested in that. And the last warning is be careful if you're visiting any zoos this week, if any of those animals start talking to you. So let me pray, and we're going to have dinner also together. Father, I just thank you that you are interested in talking to us. You are the God of the universe. You would come down and try to get our attention. Sometimes it takes a squawking eagle or a donkey or a pillar of fire. I don't know what it will take for us to listen, but whatever it would take, I pray you do that. We want to hear from you. And God, when we hear your word clearly in our life, help us to obey. And I pray that my friends here would be man and woman enough to say, when I hear from you, Lord, I will follow what you tell me to do. And I will obey the word that is conveyed to me. God, give us the strength. Otherwise, why would you even talk to us if we're not willing to listen? So I pray that you would make us willing to listen, help us to have the strength to do what you ask us to do when you do speak to us. And most of all, God, I pray that our people would be open to communicating with you, to hearing from the God of the universe, hearing what you have to say about our lives and about our situations. And we ask this in your Son's name.